Welcome back here to New Castle Motorsports Park for the 8th edition of the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals. My name is Caleb Viesca, Tony Tosarillo, Dave Mack are going to be in here in the booth with me in a couple of moments as well. But your 206 Cadet's going to be the first class of heat racing action in 2024 here, and we'll run you down your starting grid order. Hayden Lawson and Dominic Gaddis are going to share the front row. Right behind them, Drew Blem and a multi-time national race winner, Jaden Francisco, going to start on row number 2. Parker Stewart and Ruben Greer on row number 3. You go back to Taylor and Slade Harrell on row number 4. RJ Brown and Yusuf Addy on row number 5. You go back to Cadney, Howard, Lipka, Barr, Dos Santos, McDonald, Thompson, Brownfield, Feichtinger, 4, Klossy, McCloskey, Daniel Guerra, Choquette, and more getting set to take the green flag here for the first of the heat races in 206 Cadet. The race for the Grand National Championship starts right here. It starts in the heat races. You have to keep your nose clean. You need to be picture perfect if you want to become a national championship here at New Castle Motorsports Park. Hayden Lawson, Dominic Gaddis for the first time in Grand Nationals action for the 8th edition here. We're set to take the green flag. Everybody stacked and packed into the tram lines here. And Dave Mack, I'll give you the honors here as the green flag comes in the air.
We are green, 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 go, go, go. Hammer down, and we got carts off the track already. Bunch of them get together.
Oh, a couple of drivers getting together here on the exit of turn 2, and more get collected here as well. The 21 there involved, the 19, and more drivers making heavy contact to start the first of their heat races, and the last here as well on this Friday morning. Hayden Lawson leading the charge here. Right behind him, the kid from Indiana, Dominic Gaddis for the MPG Academy. Everybody else going side by side all throughout this field, looking for a piece of real estate to try and work their way through here.
Yeah, it was a rough start. There's a lot of carts out there, and they came through turn 1, and they started getting together, and by turn 2, they were all over the track. A bunch of people sideways.
A lot of people there, Dave, were very sideways. A little change for the lead here. Dominic Gaddis goes to the point. Hayden Lawson falls back to the second spot. Francisco lost a couple there at the start. He's on in 5th, looking to make a move into the Monza corner. He gets through that time around. Francisco in the Nitro kart, able to work his way back up to the 4th spot. One driver there looking to make a move. That looks to be Blem, or Slade Harrell there, sorry. My mistake, the driver who just went through for the 5th spot. And Stewart locked in a battle here with what looked to be Blem there as well, and more. Still going side by side. Hudson Howard on the inside. They're on the Burrell Art machine. Hudson gets through. Everybody else, you see all the battling further down this field here, Dave, on our screen, and everybody going side by side. Everybody finding themselves side by side or in a battle here.
Yeah, that Dominic Gaddis is still out front, followed by Hayden Lawson, Austin Taylor, Jaden Francisco, RJ Brown, Slate Harrell, Parker Stewart, Yusuf Addy, Drew Blem, and Hudson Howard are your top 10.
And look at this, Slate Harrell continuing to fight here. Francisco as well. Hayden Lawson lost another there to look to be Austin Taylor, who looked to work his way up to 2nd. And more drivers looking to make moves. To 63 there of Yusuf Addy as well, sits in 8th. And looking to make moves and try and get inside of the top 5. Francisco on the inside of Lawson. He's able to get through. Harrell now side by side here with Hayden Lawson coming into the scoreboard corner, and a change for the lead. Austin Taylor goes to the point. Dominic Gaddis falls back to 2nd. Francisco in 3rd. And the battling further back continuing to ramp up here. Nobody really giving each other any bit of breathing room here, Dave.
No, they're certainly not. It's a pretty good battle there. Gaddis, your leader, did turn purple while there's 1 lap complete, so he did turn purple that time. Lawson 2nd, Austin Taylor 3rd. Waiting for them to come by the stripe and see how they round up here. This is a cadet class, by the way. Cadets, this is heat race number 1, 8 laps long. And your leader is Austin Taylor now. Dominic Gaddis in 2nd.
Yeah, one driver there dropped a tire off the racetrack into the dirt on the exit of turn number 1. Hudson Howard, the driver in the number 9, Jay Howard, Trinity Karting Group, Kart Republic machine, has made up a couple of spots so far in this race. He's picking them off one by one and picking and choosing his moves for a very young driver on what's his first big national event here at his home track. Him and his dad have a garage here at New Castle Motorsports Park. His dad also owning the USF team. that has been super dominant all year long. He's working his way and doing a good job of it as well to work his way closer to the top 5 here as they work their way through. Slade Harrells has made up a couple of spots. He's up about 3 spots, and you see him there in the 8th in the number 8 machine with a pink and black helmet on your screen there. Everybody else still working their way through. One of the comp carts right behind him, and the amount of chassis manufacturers as well in this group, the amount of drivers in this group from all around the country. We talked about this as well here, Tony, of the entire mix-up of drivers and chassis and teams that find themselves kind of fighting in the first of the heat races. And we're only 3 laps into this race. Might be 4 laps completed this time around with 4 more to go.
Oh, this is so important for those drivers and for the manufacturers, the car chassis, the engine preparers. It's so big for them at this race, and that, like you said, that builds this whole competition. And there's teams here, there's independents here, but it's just, like I said, this is an event more than just the race, and we'll see what happens here. But right now it's Austin Taylor out in front, Dominic Gaddis in 2nd, Jaden Francisco in 3rd, and Slade Harrell in 4th.
Yeah, a lot of battling here as well. Dominic Gaddis, who was in the lead of this race at one point, he falls back. Francisco now wants to go to the point. Harrell looking to make up a couple as well. He's going to go side by side there with Austin Taylor, who was your leader for a good chunk of this race. Hayden Lawson as well, started on the pole. He's looking to work his way back up the field. He's at the tail end of this group here, actually, as Taylor and Harrell continue to go side by side. And again, in 206 racing, you can't afford much of this action with the amount of pack racing that we have here, and people could just straight up freight train you on one of the straightaways if you don't get on with the battle that you're in.
Right. I mean, and that's what happens here. You could be, if they're freight training 3, 4, 5 carts like that, you can go from 1st to 5th in the blink of an eye, and you get shut out. You can't get back into that line. And right now, I thought the 30 was, Jaden Francisco took the lead. Or he's
still in the lead of the race here. That battle was for 2nd. Harrell was able to get through there on Dominic Gaddis, and more drivers to the bottom of the racetrack. One of the Maranello USA machines, the number 7 of R.J. Brown, looking to make a move into turn number 1. And Austin Taylor, again, we've had so many leaders throughout this race, but there goes Hudson Brown on the inside.
Hayden Brown.
Hudson Brown. Hayden Lawson. Hudson Howard, sorry. Hudson Howard, indeed. Hudson Howard there works his way through so many names, so many H's as well Tony, to get us all confused. But Hudson Howard, what a drive for him. He went purple the last time around. He's up to 6th now. He's made up 6 spots in this race.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable seeing Hayden Lawson all the way back there now, not up the front, but it's Jaden Francisco who battled for that lead and got it, and Slade Harrell running in 2nd, Dominic Gaddis in 3rd, and we'll have to pick it up again as they come around. But some great racing in this junior class being brought to you by Lawson Speed Shop. So Hayden Lawson definitely in the top 10 and had a shot, and we'll see what happens if there'll be any more changes in the lead here.
Yeah, we still have 3 laps to go in this race. 3 laps when they cross the stripe this next time around. They're going to be 6 laps on lap number 6 out of 8. So 3 laps to go this time around, and a couple of other drivers as well have worked their way up. Daniel Guerra is up a good number of spots here. He's there just on the edge of the top 10 in his top kart machine, and more drivers as well further back looking to make moves, but your top 5 singing a single file line on the exit of turn number 1.
And look at that, Slade Harrell goes purple on that lap, so he's going to give Francisco a good run for his money. He's going to have to earn this first place. The number 30 of Jaden Francisco in 1st and Slade Harrell in 2nd, but Slade Harrell went purple on that lap. Dominic Gaddis holds on to 3rd, Austin Taylor in 4th, R.J. Brown in the top 5. What a race we got going on here. Hudson Howard in 6th, Parker Stewart in 7th, Connor Lipka moving up to 8th. Lipka up 5 positions, so you got to keep an eye on Lipka. Not sure what's happening with Hayden Lawson. He dropped back all the way to 9th at this point.
Yeah, he just found himself in kind of in bad situations at the start of this race. Lost one and lost another one as well. So unfortunate there for Hayden Lawson to find himself back in 9th after starting on the pole position as well at the start of this heat race. And again, these heat races are progressive, so when you get into tomorrow afternoon, when Hayden has to go in for his 2nd heat race, he's going to find himself starting 9th if he can hold on to this spot. Overall, again, this group is not split up, so this is exactly where they're going to start kind of tomorrow as well when they get into it. And he's kind of just falling down the order, and we'll see how he continues to progress. Again, Hayden has been really, really quick all year long. He was quick at Pittsburgh. He's been quick at Charlotte. And he's obviously quick
Yeah.
here this weekend and put it on the pole position, but a change
yeah.
for the lead there, it looked like. Dominic Gaddis was on the inside of Slade Harrell. Couldn't get work his way through, loses a little bit of time to your leaders, and your top three are pulling away from the driver's fourth on back.
And that's what they need to do. The top three need to pull away. So this way, the worst that can happen to the first place driver, he'll finish up in third. But it looks like the top two are starting to try to pull away at this point. And that would be Jaden Francisco and Slade Harrell. I said keep an eye on the 444 of Connor Lipka. I believe he's out of Arizona, running this in that 7th place. Am I right? Arizona, I believe, Lipka.
And I see Francisco's asking for some help from Slade Harrell in second place. He wants a little push, and I think he's going to get it here.
And it's definitely working out for them here as well because they're pulling away from Dominic Gaddis, who's in third spot. Again, Dominic tried to move into turn number 1, just wasn't close enough there to get through. Didn't have enough momentum. Again, when two karts in front of you are pushing each other along, it's hard to kind of try and break up their momentum whenever you have nobody behind you trying to push you through as well. So that was Dominic's struggle point because Austin Taylor is about a second behind from the top three, and you see Hudson Howard is now the driver that's in fourth here. So for Hudson to find himself up to fourth, that's a good charge there for the Jay Howard machine.
Yeah,
he's
definitely.
8 spots in this race, I believe. And again, he's looking to lose one here to Connor Lipka, who I believe went through with him. And indeed, Connor Lipka wasn't able to get through that time around, but white flag in the air this time. Final lap of the first of our heat races here in Grand Nationals 8.
Yeah, could Jaden Francisco hold it for the final lap? He's going to have to be protective of that lead. Slade Harrell there in second, Gaddis in third, Howard in fourth.
And I believe there's a lead change over there on the far side of the track.
Slade Harrell was able to get through. Indeed, Dominic Gaddis now goes back through on Jaden Francisco. Still half a lap to go on the methodical new Castle Motorsports Park. That's really long with straightaways, and Francisco and Gaddis going side by side here into the green corner.
I said that was the worst that could happen to Francisco. He would drop back to third because the way they were freight training there. But still, we got a three-way battle here for the lead. Any one of these three drivers can win it. And look at the battle going on back there for fourth, fifth, sixth between Hudson Howard, Lipka, and Austin Taylor.
And as well as a breakthrough here for Slade Harrell, about 4 car lengths in between himself and Jaden Francisco. He's about to round up the final corner here. Harrell had to work his way through the field here. 7 spots gained for Slade Harrell. How about that for the number 8? If he holds on to it here, Francisco's not going to have a good enough run here. The checkered and black out in the air under protest, but Slade Harrell wins the first of your heat races here in 206 Cadet. Dominic Gaddis crosses the line second. Francisco will cross third. Hudson Howard, 8 spots gained. He rounds up your top 4. Connor Lipka, your top 5 with another 8 spots gained. How about that for Danny O'Gara, though, to cross the line in 9th? Are you kidding me? Danny O'Gara in the top cart, 14 spots gained.
Wow, what a run by Danny O'Gara. And I got to give credit to Hayden Lawson. He came back. At least he got up into 6th place.
Indeed.
He was all the way back there in 9th, I believe, and moving up to that 6th spot. So he did pretty good. I mean, considering, he was on the pole, but whatever happened, Slade Harrell at the end, on the next to the last lap there, took the lead away, dropped Francisco back to third. Dominic Gaddis holds on to that 2nd spot.
No, keep in mind the checkered flag was being displayed with the black flag, so these results are unofficial. I have no idea what the officials are discussing, but they're discussing something, so there could be changes in the official results.
Yep. I'll add a note here that everything we say up here, as far as it's unofficial, guys, until the officials post it, because I've been caught before where I said this one did this, did that, and then the officials, had something else going on and it changed. So we're doing the best we can. We're giving you what we see up here, but it is unofficial to the officials posted.
Indeed. Checkered flag obviously up in the air, running you down your last little bits of results. A lot of pickup getting set to come your way. We're live for the 8th edition of the Grand National Championships, your senior medium class, the marquee class of the weekend, coming up next after the break.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, All the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Welcome back here to Spiceland, Indiana for the 8th edition of the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals. Your senior medium class getting set to hit the racetrack. Here are the first of the two groups that we'll see, and we'll run you down your starting grid order. Ryan Gensheimer was able to solidify the pole position in the 919. He's going to start alongside the reigning Stars Championship Series champion, Paulie Massimino. Jordan Pryor and Scott Clement on row number 2, and Ian Quinn and Owen Lloyd on row number 3.
Right. And
Jackson Warney there starting on row number 4 alongside David Vasquez, the first of the VLR machines inside of the top 10. Adam Maxwell and Ben Gaunt running up your top 10 starters.
in 11th, we got Reagan Sayville and Brandon Jossacrat. Man, back in 12th place for Jossacrat. Cade Godbeher in 13th. Alongside of him, Brady Eckhoff, also one of the top drivers. Will Lawler, I know he's out of the Sodi camp there, starting in 15th. Alongside of him, Wyatt Leslie. And in 17th, we got Braden Johnson. Alongside of him is Eli Warren. I mean, you're talking some top drivers here.
Some talent, indeed. You go back to Michael Ing, Chase Reynolds, your top 10 rows, and your top 20 starters. We're all down. We still got 2 more pages to go here, fellas. That shows you the amount of star power in this race and the amount of drivers as well in these heat races. Page number 2 is going to start off with Nick Zobiak and Kelvin Zing, the 666. Getting set to start on row number 11. Matthew Mockabee out of Cincinnati starting alongside Braden Heber. You go back to Hunter Cole and Ben Lida on the 13th row. Aiden Rudolph, the CRG Norton machine, starting alongside Chloe McKenzie.
In the 29th position, Gavin Isaacs. Alongside of him, Emil Osman out of New Jersey. In the 31st position, Addison Ianello starting in 31st. Caleb Jarvis Kami in that 32nd position. In 33rd, Brooks Adeline. And in 34th, Henry Wheeler, all the way back in 34th position.
Again, Henry, a driver who's been super quick all year long. He's contended for race wins at every single national event that we've gone to this year, and that shows you how hard it is to put yourself well inside of the top 10. You go back to the 35 spot with James Sullivan and Cami Pfister starting alongside each other. You go back to Patrick Lillever and Michael Boyadzis, 37th and 38th. You go back to Carson Bartlett and Brody Meyer. Your first couple of rows here, all the way down to 40th, and one more page there, I believe, as well, of starters that are getting set to start here as well. That's down to 40th, and then you go back to Quentin McPherson, Cameron Reed, Matt Lida, Jake Havlo, Ryan Curtin, Raphael Kraus, Joseph Hewitt, Maxis Blick, That's your 48 starters, and you go back to Nathan Heath, Jack Sutton, Carson Craig, Cal Peter, and Owen Mao. Your 53 starters getting set to take the green flag here in senior medium. Everybody working their way through. And Tony, you talk about snap your neck engines. That grid is snap your ankles if you get too close to some of those karts when they work their way out.
Yeah, this is that we know the medium and the light class, the most competitive classes that you can see out there. So let's see what happens with this first group, I guess, right?
Yeah. And once again, this is half of the total class. This is the A group and the D Delta group. After this, we'll have the B Bravo and the C Charlie group.
So this is going to be insane to see, to keep up with all the action, all the names, all the star power in this field. 115 drivers taking the green flag here this weekend. And again, there was a cap at the start of whenever registration opened up. And again, a lot of drivers found themselves in the wait spot, and one driver slow to work his way off the grid here. The 09, the Kubica kart, not able to work his way out.
Wow. Oh, he got it though. He's coming back. So they'll allow him into the lineup.
Yep, he's going to really have to hustle to catch a field, though.
Well, they're not waiting on him at all, boys.
With this many cards?
You can't. No time to waste whatsoever. So it's that time, though. Heat racing action once again, our second on the day. A quick update here. Well, I've spent a lot of my time over in timing and scoring for those that are listening on the PA. A, B, C, and D groups for the classes that have them posted at the Castle Motorsports Racers Grill. 8 laps for the first of the 2 senior medium heat races.
No start.
And no
Yellow.
green on that first drive-by.
So that guy's got a chance to get back in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that played in his favor.
Yeah,
Ryan.
that worked out good. And it didn't look like a bad start, so maybe that was.
I don't know what happened there, unless they asked them to wait.
He's going to wait for the field, yeah.
Yeah, so Ryan Stanton gave them the yellow and said, let's go around. But they'll do the cutoff.
What do we have out there? 53 carts out there.
So they're going to head up the way towards the I-70 hairpin once again. And, you try to get kind of into a good little bit of headspace, right, before the session rolls. And then you're anticipating just the end of one pace lap, and then you get sent around again, and you go to a second one and a third one. And
builds the tension.
Yeah, the nerves continue to build, right? I mean, it's when everything's nice and slow is when your knees start to shake a little bit. Once you get going at full speed, the adrenaline takes over. But let's try it again.
Yeah.
We've got them all together.
They look good.
It does. Nearly 60 deep in both of the groups here for over 110. Senior medium groups A and D is this time green down to turn number 1. And so far, so good for the front row, but the outside lane through turn 1, dropping a couple tires in the dirt. They'll barely survive as they go right by our grid corner shot there at turn 3.
Yeah, they really did good there. Nobody really out. Everybody already in a single file. I shouldn't have said that because they quickly went side by side there going into one of the turns. I couldn't pick that up, which turn that was, but our leader right now is the number 40.
A little bit of contact.
Massimino, and now we've had some contact.
3 together further back here in heat number 1 for groups A and D. So again, this is top qualifier Ryan Gensheimer, who led us to green in that all-black MGM 919 machine. Paulie Massimino now going to the lead in the number 40 PPK BJR Coyote. And the rest of the field, while we've lost only a couple, is good enough and green through the first half a lap as they head down the long run to that I-70 hairpin here. First up, they split it halfway into the shark fin. You got another passing zone there if you want to try it, but it's at such a high-speed zone, most of them will stay single file. And let's see if any lanes, a couple of them are going to start to kind of fade low into that hairpin on the first time by to try and protect, because this first lap has everyone packed up. And we know after a couple of laps in, we'll start to see some separation. How about another challenge for the lead, boys? Here comes Gensheimer.
Gensheimer trying to make the move, and he gets a little help, and he does, I believe.
Ryan's leading, Gensheimer.
Ryan Gensheimer took the lead. Jordan Pryor, I believe, gave him a little bit of help. Paulie Massimino coming back, though, I believe. Wow, it is hard to keep up with these guys.
Yeah, that was another big move there. And that one move from Gensheimer, and then Paulie kind of slotting in a line, brought them all back in once again Ian Quinn there in the 4th spot. He's on that Mark Steele Motorsports machine. Little pass right behind him. One of the VLRs moving up the chain. That, I believe, was David Vasquez in the 52. Then you got Owen Lloyd there on the MGM. He's 6th, center of the screen there in the red and blue colors. And here comes a former Grand Nats champ, Jordan Pryor, to the lead there in the green corner as we are just still a lap and a half in. Senior medium already having, I believe, 3 different lead changes.
Right.
And there's 3 different leaders. And on that same note, I believe 4 different lead changes.
Yeah, so Pryor, he's out of the Mark Steele Racing. And we thank Mark Steele for supporting, sponsoring this senior meeting.
And Lloyd just absolutely sent about 3 orange cones into the sky.
Yeah, not sure where those came from.
He was trying to hang on the outside. It looked like of that right-hand kink of the exiting the shark fin, door to door with like Vasquez and looked like Scott Klayman right around there.
Yep.
Brandon Jarsicrack, how about the move forward for the captain of the PPK BJR Brigade? He's up 5 spots, biggest mover inside the top 10 here as we work lap number 3 of 8.
Cones are still flying all over the track.
So, again, not 3 of 20, folks. We'll get the lap count up for you. 8 laps, I believe the distance for all the heat races here, 2 complete. 6 to go. Again, this one, Heat 1, Groups A versus D. In 8 laps here with a move down the inside. Braden Johnson going through on Reagan Seville. Owen Lloyd going back around. How about Big Ben Gaunt there on the 995? He's in that all-white Cosmic. He'll try to get by on Reagan, and that battling here, we know it just takes 1 to 2 kind of passes or even botch passes to split the packs up. And now Brandon Jarsicrack leads the second group, and they have already faded to more than a full 1.5 back from the top 4. So 5th for BJR's team owner. David Vasquez was 6th after Jarsicrack got by. Now he's back to 7th. Now he's going to fight for more. Look at the whole pack right here, fellas, lined up, and he's got no room to get down to the bottom.
Wow, they are racing. This is like
off, way off. Braden Johnson, is that him there in the Coyote for AMAX Racing? I think maybe. Let's see if he falls down the leaderboard on the left side.
Yep, I believe it was Braden Johnson, the number 26.
Yeah, so he'll drop down, and we got another one off into the front straightaway. Another of the major contenders in heat number 1 is off and into the grass. That looks to be Klayman. Scott Klayman, it looks like, is off. And another one is spun around at turn 2. That's the number 8 machine further back. Oh, my goodness. Braden Haber was 33rd across the line of the 50 on the racetrack. We lost 3. Michael Boyaz's, Jack Sutton, and Owen Mal on the opening lap. 53 took the green. More contact out of the cell tower. That's Aiden Rudolph there in the black and orange CRG. He's making up some ground. Gets by on the 541 OTK of Wyatt Leslie on that Cosmic, but still working with 3 laps complete now, 5 laps to go.
Could this be real?
Let's see, Caleb Jarvis, Jake Havelo. It definitely could be. 20 spots gained for Jake Havelo there, up to position number 24.
Wow, Havelo making a lot of moves out there. Must have had problems in qualifying, trying to get back, trying to get a good starting position for the next round. And moving up 20 positions to 24th. At this point, you're in the top 20. That's where you want to be. Jordan Pryor still continues to hold the lead. Massimino in 2nd, Ian Quinn in 3rd. Gersheimer in 4th. Jarsicrack up to 5th, but he was leading that pack that had a bunch of karts behind him to try to catch up to the 3 top drivers, Pryor, Massimino, Quinn. 4 drivers. Gensheimer is in that. He's in 4th, I believe, at this point.
Yep. Yeah, so Ryan Gensheimer right there, top overall qualifier in senior medium, end of that group in the 919. So he's the all-black machine, white helmet, MGM. You got Ian Quinn there. He's got that easy to spot, bright
Back
yellow
bumper,
metal
yeah.
bumper.
Yeah, he's got old time there.
Yeah, and he's
Old
not the
school.
only one. We saw David Vasquez earlier on there in the VLR with his silver metal bumper as well. So, but this group playing the long game, the points game, the top 4, just pushing, staying single file, and happily following a former CKNA Grand Nats champion, Jordan Pryor, the Canadian, leads them up the hill towards I-70. This time by, it'll be 5 complete, 3 to go, pounding laps down and ticking away heat points. But I will say, looking further back down the road, Brandon Jarsakrak in 5th by himself.
Yeah, no help there for Jarsakrat, but he does have another Coyote coming up behind him. Not sure if that person could help him. So Jarsakrat was kind of hanging out in 5th all alone. You see the 26 now just move up a position. That is Braden Johnson, and he's up around 10 positions. So a good job by Braden Johnson moving up through this pack. And now trying to catch up with Johnson. Braden Johnson running in 7th, trying to move up. But your leaders, Pryor, Massimino, Quinn, and Gensheimer, holding that, and they're trying to pull away from the rest of the pack. So the worst any one of them can finish in this heat is 4th if they keep this going. But there will be some changes, I guarantee, on that last lap between these 4 drivers. Right now, as Xander said, they were just following nicely, but there will be some changes once that white flag comes out, I believe.
Here's some more movement in the middle of the group as we're taking a moment to check further back while the leaders continue to drive away. This is Adam Maxwell there in the blue and white Coyote. Reagan Seville, who we saw earlier, and he's going to get shuffled wide there on that Trackside Karting Services GFC. Ben Gaunt gets by. That's Will Lawler on the low-key racing black and orange Sodi going through. Again, this is about the 3rd pack on the racetrack. Adam Maxwell trying to lead the family-owned AMAX Racing Coyote up to the next group. This time by 2 laps to go, and we've got some shuffling towards the front, it looked like. Paulie Massimino going by on Ian Quinn to get himself back up a spot higher. He'll go to 2nd to P2 for Paulie. Jordan Pryor still leads. Quinn 3rd, Gensheimer 4th. Big gap to Jarsakrak, and as you mentioned, closing in is one of his teammates, one of his own drivers there, Jackson Wolney. Under the BJR PPK Coyote camp this weekend. Another rising superstar. Still in the single digits in senior class starts, Tony, but he has done a fantastic job through the handful he has done this year. He has been on the box in every single junior national championship. No worse than, I think, 3rd in the point standings of any of the major series. So he's fast, and he's showing it here on his CKNA Grand Nats debut for the Coyote group. 6th in the opening heat. Lloyd 7th. Johnson, Maccabee, Vasquez the top 10 here as we go to a lap and a half remaining.
I'm watching the top 4, and Massimino made a good move there to get into that 2nd place. It positions him strategically to make the win here. He's in 2nd place. He's just following now your leader Pryor, but believe me, he's going to make a move. He's in the right position that he can get the win for this race. But if anything happens, if they get tied up, like I said, you could go from 1st to 4th, and you could see your 4th place driver coming up and taking the lead. But we'll see what happens as Massimino looks like he wants it. He makes the move on Pryor and takes the lead.
Ian Quinn.
Quinn following through right there. Good call, Dave Mack. He's still a car length back, but that'll get eaten up here in this short shoot. So final lap underway. Paulie to the point here. Last lap, white flag in the air. He'll start to take him down to the inside to block off the position as Ian Quinn needs to get creative with Paulie beginning to defend just a little bit to try and score himself a heat race win on heat number 1. Gensheimer, the pole sitter, still lurking back there in 4th as they hug the inside in the cell tower. No changes through the kinks with half a lap to go.
There's going to be, I believe, I don't know if Paulie can hold it. He's definitely driving defensive for this last lap. We're on the last lap, right?
Yes, sir.
So
last lap there.
Will be waving. But it could be anybody's, out of these top 4, it could be anybody's race. But right now, Paulie Massimino sitting in the right position. You see Gensheimer trying to get a run on him, but can't do it. And I'm not sure about the Ian Quinn, if he's going to try to make a move right at the last minute. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's watch this here. Going to the last hairpin. Are things going to get crazy? Jarsakrak and Wolney are getting closer into view as the leaders continue to slow down. How about Ian Quinn with an around the outside attempt? But it's going to open the door for Jordan Pryor to get through.
They're not going to let Quinn back in.
Nope.
Now, can Jordan get enough of a run to the line? They'll hit the limiter at some point, but Pryor's got a big shove, and it will be enough.
Whoa.
Jordan Pryor steals it at the last second there at the line. Paulie Massimino, 0.07 of a second shy there. He'll drop to 2nd in the last 50 feet. And Jordan Pryor, well, these senior medium drivers, they're done for the minute. A lot will be in light, but he needs to go and buy Ryan Gensheimer lunch because that was a big shove from our top qualifier and the MGM top or fastest driver overall, top of Group A. 3rd, still a solid run, and more than anything else, he finished his opening heat race. Unfortunately, as you can see off to the side, cannot say the same for the number 09, Robert Kubitsa Kart of Jack Sutton. He was one of 3 we mentioned, along with Boyadzis and Owen Mal, that went out on the opening lap. There were a handful of other drivers that got sent off the circuit and ending up with a fail to finish. So here's a quick look. Again, apologies about the little bit of hiccups with our timing and scoring ticker. That's where I've been for the last little bit. We're going to get that dialed. We're going to get all your chassis logos, team logos, and we're going to make sure we get all the love out there for all the hard work it takes to perform at this high level here at the CKNA Grand Nationals. But again, what a run for Jordan Pryor. And, well, he's a Grand Nats champ for a reason. He knows how to get it done. He is your Heat 1 Groups A and D winner in senior medium. Paulie Massimino, Gensheimer, Ian Quinn. Wolney ends up getting around team boss. Brandon Jarskrak there at the line. He'll end up provisionally in the 5th spot. Jarskrak 6th at the drop of the checkers. Both of them were closing in, though, on that group towards the end. And, well, again, there's a lot more to talk about than just the front runners. How about 12 spots up for Braden Johnson, even going off to the wayside, I believe, earlier, and I may have miscalled it because it looked like all he did was go forward in that heat race. 12 up to 7th. Owen Lloyd, 8th. David Vasquez, 9th. How about Matt Maccabee? 15 spots up to the top 10 in 10th. Nick Sobiek, CKNA Divisional Champ, who's already locked in to the Senior Showdown All-Star event tomorrow night. He picked up 11 to go to P12 there. Kelvin Zing had the fastest lap of the race. He picked up 6 to go to 14th. And the biggest mover, James Sullivan, 19 spots up to 17th at the drop of the checkers. Jake Havelo was the highest mover early, up 20 spots. He ends up getting shuffled back to 27th, but still picks up a handful. He was a fun story last year, if we remember back, Tony, driving that way old school chassis to the front in the blue and yellow colors.
Yeah, he had the old Arrow card out there.
Oh, yeah.
I think now he's on an MGM.
So we've got a lot more rolling through the scales. Caleb Vieska now, with me being able to get back at least over towards the commentary booth, is working his way down to the pit lane. He'll be getting us all the intel from our senior medium top drivers. And once again, while we've got this bit of quiet on the PA, I want to remind everyone really quickly that the A, B, C, and D groups for your classes based off qualifying are posted at the new Castle Motorsports Racers Grill. But while I mentioned Caleb was on his way down there, he's already down there. Caleb, let's send it on down to you, buddy, here for some post-race chatter from that first senior medium heat.
Thank you there, Xander, and I think you said it best. That was a wild race as it gets louder and louder down here on the grid. Drivers all the way back, almost outside of the fence line here, and we talked about the track evolution here as well with a couple of drivers. The amount of karts that have hit the racetrack so far this weekend, and with the amount of racing we've had at new Castle Motorsports Park, this groove's going to get wider and wider as the day continues to progress. We're expecting that grease over point to get just about either towards the end of the weekend, and here from some drivers are expecting it at around 2 p.m., so setups may change as the weekend goes on.
There you go, Caleb. Great point about how much the track is going to be super dynamic here, Tony. These guys are going to have to stay on top of it.
And that's what I said. I said this, you know, and in qualifying, some of our top drivers just missed, I think, the setup. By some reason, they thought something was going to be different. But now the track is coming in, and this is what they practiced yesterday. The conditions are basically about the same. So I think they'll get their setups tuned up again, and we'll see some real changes in positions as we move along with these heat races.
Let's take a look here at groups B and C, quickly how they will line up on the grid, especially for the first 10 rows. Chase Jones on the MPG Motorsports Kart Republic. We'll start on the inside of row number 1. It'll be TS Racing VLR longtime partner Colin Warren. He's been, of course, in those colors in that camp for a long time. He's once again taken to the front in qualifying with Caleb Gaffera and James Overbeck, a couple of the new generation superstars on row 2. And rounding out the top 5, your grandson right there, Hudson Brown, solid quality effort. Let's go back down trackside, though. We've got a lot more than just 20, but they're already set and looking in the tram lines for the green flag on the first time by. Do we get it? We do, and it's a great jump for Chase Jones and Caleb Gaffera. They'll both quickly go into first and second from first and third.
So we'll watch this. As I said, I think you're going to see some real changes in the positions here. Some of your top drivers who maybe had that setup just a little off. We got somebody almost knocked off the track there, but everybody seems to have made it through, and we'll see how this develops. It's an 8-lap heat race, so not a long race. We got a bunch of them sideways.
And that's what happens when you don't have a long race there. You got a little bit of nerves and anxiety and a franticness to it. So we've already got a couple that have gone off. We'll keep an eye on that and maybe be able to even check in to an instant replay of what just went down. But in the meantime, through the green corner, Another move. This time it's back for second. Gaffera falling back. That looked to be is that Hudson there? No, I don't think so. That is one of the VLR drivers, and it might have been off a solid start for Colin Warren, and a good recovery. So it's different colors for me to get used to here for Colin Warren. He's in an all-white VLR. He's still got his black suit. He changes his helmet because his helmet's not painted. He puts different tape on it all the time. I don't know, maybe this one's painted, but by the looks of it, looks like another great tape job by Colin if he did that. Either way, single file up front, little fade to the inside, looking, not going though. Jerry Fandry trying to get by on last year's senior medium Grand Nat champion Christopher McKeithen. Both of those two young guns up to 6th and 7th. They are up 9 spots for McKeithen, up 11 for Jerry Fandry Jr. on that TB card.
Yeah, so Chase Jones holding on to the lead, but Warren, one of your top drivers right there in second. Gaffara dropped back to third. Overbeck right there in fourth, up 3 positions. Hudson Brown up 5 positions into the 5th slot. So we're gonna have a big race going here. McKeithen in 6th, Jerry Fandry in 7th, Morrow in 8th, and Josh Stiefel, Coyote driver as well, in 9th. Austin Olds in 10th. Those are your top 10 drivers, but we do have a change now. Up front is the number 211 of Colin Warren. He takes the lead. And that, you're right, the colors are throwing me off. He's all in white.
Yeah, when have you seen a VLR pop like that there? But hey, the Grands is the great debut to do anything new and make an impression, because all the eyes are on it, and we've got a lot of you tuning in from all over the country, all around the world for the international flair in this massive event. So keep on sharing it, let everybody know. Of course, we've got a whole nother rotation action later today with all the PM classes. You'll see a lot of the same superstar drivers in senior maybe going to light. And here's another superstar looking for the lead, or at least for second. James Overbeck, Cincinnati kid.
There he is.
To the inside and through on Chase Jones. Nice work.
So what do you think, Dave? Cincinnati kid moved up into second place.
He's doing it.
He's looking solid, man. Solid start. His teammates already set a high bar. Paulie there led a good bit of his heat. Jarsakrak, Wolney, they all took their machines forward. Fandry going backwards a little bit. Big move forward for the number 7. How about Jack Grote on the GFC going up the board? Nice work there, and side by side behind. That's a good look there at the 507 Cosmic. Elmer Edmondson, Moe's in the mix of it all, and looks to be, so is the 366. That is quite a gaggle there just outside the top 10. Scrapping it. Here's Austin Olds trying to make a move. That is on the 019 of Josh Stiefel. Stiefel fending him off there in the green corner. Now Olds under pressure. So a good bit of action going on up front, though. James Overbeck already beginning to build a little gap and follow one of the most successful 206 drivers, one of the most successful senior karting drivers, period, in the last decade, Colin Warren, as they hit the line here to put 3 complete, 5 to go. Let's go side by side. Paulie Massimino is through the scale line. He's standing by with Caleb Viesca.
Paulie, that was a close race from start to finish. Walk me through what it was like in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. Got to the lead right off the start and got past within a few laps, and I was just kind of riding. It's hard to kind of pull away and get away from everyone. So, yeah, I was just settling down, trying to see where I was better, where he was better, and then doesn't help. We're getting blasted through every single corner, so our chances of pulling away are very slim. But no, the Coyote VP power machine is rolling. We've been quick all weekend. We just got to kind of position ourselves a little bit better, hopefully get some teammates up there. Teammates always help, but yeah, we'll see. So far, so good.
And I know you talk about teammates. What are the conversations over the tent been like? Because you have a lot of teammates that are really quick out here this weekend.
Honestly, nothing, to be honest with you. We go out there and we have fun. We talk about it when we come in, see who's better where and what we could do better to be better as a team, and try to repeat what we did last year.
Well, there you guys have from Paulie Massimino. As you can see, as excited as ever to have some fun. Back to you guys.
It's always a fun and unpredictable interview when we get the mic there in front of Paulie, but he's a racer, and there's nothing that bites more, I think, as a racer than losing a race by just that much. 7 thousandths away from a perfect score in Heat 1 for Paulie Massimino. Still a great run, though, for a race that in years past seems to have kind of kicked off with more bad luck at the beginning of a weekend for him than good. So that's a good start for him in senior medium. He'll park that car, start lining up the senior light machine later on tonight as we dial back in on this kind of midfield or middle of the top 10, towards the end of the top 10 group. Caleb Gaffera there leading it on the blue and green MGM. Jerry Fandry there second in line. Little gap back now as Jack Grote, Jonathan Treadwell, and Nicky Palladino are going at it. How about the run forward for those three? Treadwell is up 12, Palladino up 19, Jack Grote up 16. And I don't know actually now, come to think of it here a little bit, fellas, I think some of these big movers that are showing are from their overall qualifying position. So everyone naturally goes up because the field comes down in half. So, but still those are some moves forward because, again, divided in half, and you look like a lot of spots gained. Cale Zimmerman showing 31 up. That means he's really up still about 16 to 17 positions. So good run forward for another CKNA divisional champ, and you can see him there top of the screen. He already won the inaugural Ashley Award, the best looking kart, and it looks fast. That chrome, blue, and black VLR behind Chase Jones's MPG Kart Republic is up to 6th by the looks of things. That ticker just a bit off. Again, we'll get that dialed for you guys here. Apologies to it, of course, but Hudson Brown there in the middle in the 021 gold kart. Christopher McKeithen, the reigning Grand Nats champion medium, leading that pack. Jones in the red and white. And the leader, still Colin Warren, still James Overbeck. But while it looked like they were doing everything by the book to build the gap, that gap has not built up yet.
Yeah, I don't know if they can hold that gap. If they can stay out there with Colin Warren, Overbeck, you have McKeithen, but you got Hudson Brown right behind him. And Brown might help him get up there. But, Brown just got passed. So Brown drops back another position. Brown was in striking distance there, but now has dropped back one position. So we'll see what happens here. Colin Warren in the lead very early on in this race. Sometimes that's not the place you want to be when it comes down to the last couple laps, but Colin Warren is a very special, he's a driver that equates everything, looks at everything, what he needs to do, and I'm sure he's got a plan going into the final laps of this race.
Well, you're only really safe in terms of staying near the lead if you're in the lead when the pack is this big, because now he's not going to get to go to second and line up for a last lap charge.
Overbeck.
With 2 to go, Overbeck is now the leader, but Christopher McKeithen followed him through, and Colin is back to third, which is a lot tougher to get that big run to the line on. So I'm curious how long he may wait back there. He's led a lot of laps. Now he gets the chance to kind of learn a bit, and he knows there's 3 more. Kart's right behind, ready to go forward. So a lap and a half to go. Here's a move from Hudson. Big send down the inside in turn 6 and 7. Cale Zimmerman's trying to follow through. He will not get through. Chase Jones will keep the damage down to 1. No, he won't. A nice over-under from the divisional North champ in senior medium and senior light. Cale Zimmerman up to 5th with a big crossover there in the cell tower.
Hudson Brown coming back, moving up into that 4th slot, but will he catch the top 3? That's what's going to have to happen here if there be a 4-way battle for the lead.
I think we're going to get it. They already changed the lead. Now they're going to change second. Overbeck from first. Back to third in 2 passing zones.
That allowed Hudson Brown now to close that gap and be in that lead draft.
Whoa! Contact. Hudson and Overbeck. And
Overbeck off the track on that one. Brown gets passed.
Yeah, well, Hudson again broke his momentum, going wheel to wheel with James. It sent James kind of down and off the cliff there at the exit of the shark fin, so he was already bleeding there with 2 more spots. And Jerry Fandry up at the top there on the TB, and 1 more. He was trying to get by all the way down and mowing the lawn for Mike Adams here. That was Gianluca Savalio trying to fend him off for that spot. So he ended up losing the position. That's back for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Mitchell Morrow right there. Jack Grote is there. Meanwhile,
keep an eye on the 211 of Colin Warren. He's right on the bumper of McKeithen, trying to see if he's going to take. We might see a rundown, a drag race when they come to the final straightaway there. We've seen it in the last heat where it happened, and let's see what happens in this heat. But Warren is not going to give up here. He's going to be right on the bumper of McKeithen.
Yeah, he stayed on him. We're watching there that second group try to close back up, but McKeithen's not really low-lining in the way that Paulie and the rest of the lead pack was in the first heat. Now he will in the last couple of corners, but by waiting, he was able to drag out their gap and keep it before the guys behind running the normal line could catch up, and they're fighting back there as well. Jones, Brown, side by side through the shark fin for them. Back for third, fourth, and fifth. Here come the leaders, though. Last turn, and opening the door is McKeithen. He left it wide open. Colin Warren says, thank you very much. Let's see if he can hold it. It'll be a long run down the straight.
Yep. Black flag.
And the black and checkers there. Unofficial results side by side to the line. Woo! McKeithen
gets it.
So
Same thing that happened in the last. I said it'd be a drag race at the end, and McKeithen, even though it looked like he opened the door for Warren and Warren had it, Warren just couldn't hold. Warren pushed all the way to the outside down that straightaway. McKeithen almost had to cut the grass, but he got him. Oh, man, what a race that was. Chase Jones ends up in third. Cale Zimmerman in fourth. James Overbeck in fifth. Hudson Brown drops all the way back to sixth. Nicky Palladino in seventh. Jonathan Treadwell in eighth. Austin Oles in ninth. And Giancana Salvaggio in the top 10.
And again, for Gianluca Savalio, he was a huge mover forward. It shows 41 spots. It technically still is 20, more or less, plus or minus gained to get to the top 10. So from 30th up to 10th for Gianluca Savalio. A few other movers in front of him. Nicky Palladino up 12 to get to position number 7. And Cale Zimmerman up about 16 or 17 to end up in 4th. But we know that there are, again, the black and checkers signaling that the officials are going to have some more looks at that one. The racing is just getting going. We're only 3 heats in, and it's already been wild. It's time for the first of our veteran classes. The Masters are on deck from Newcastle when we return.
Brandon, why are there all these charges for just over $200?
I'm tired of all this Brandon business, okay? Brandon this, Brandon that. Why are there all these expenses on AKR over $200? We know, okay? Take a walk with me. At Shop AKR, they have everything you need to start racing at a very cheap and affordable price. They have MXC rims, they got chains, electrical stands, tilt seats, they got MXCs. And if you didn't know, on top of that, any purchase in the continental US over $200, that's free shipping.
Hey, aren't you supposed to be in the AKR Anonymous meeting over there?
Dude, I'm doing a commercial.
Dude, we have no time. It's about to start.
Stop. We all love Shop AKR. Me? More than others. What do I get at Shop AKR?
MXC rims.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Parallel USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parallel Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParalleLUSA.com.
This is our Masters class. They're going to have an 8-lap heat race here. I believe all the Masters are coming out at one time. On the pole, number 30 is Sean Myers. Outside front row, 175 is Eric Fagan. Second row inside, Daryl Timmers and Mark Steele. Third row, Chris Carroll and Ryan Cassidy. Fourth row, Ian McIntyre and Joshua Velaz. Fifth row, Jeff Dolian and David Galonia. Then we have Kevin May and Jamie Bradford. Starting 13th, Amber Flint. Starting 14th, Rod Clinard. 15th, John Price. 16th, Ryan Kastner. Then we have James Imsco, Jeremy Hood, J.D. Gunn, and Skitchy Barnes are your top 20. And I got to refresh my screen here. And we are green, 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 go, go, go! Hammer down! Everybody makes it through turn 1 okay. Turn 2 looks good. We're only about 2 wide as compared to some 3 and 4 wides earlier.
Yeah.
Nobody gets out of shape. Everybody stayed going forward. Once again, this is the Masters. They're a little bit calmer.
They've been around.
Yeah.
And the Masters class being brought to you by CRG LSR Motorsports. And right now, it is Sean Meyer out front. And they're still staying a lot side 2x2. Not sure what happened to Fagan, because I think he was up there.
He was second.
Yeah.
Here they come by the scoreboard turn.
Meyer's looking like he wants to pull away.
That's not Chris Carroll
Yeah,
in
I think
second
it's
place.
Chris Carroll.
Oh, good on Chris.
Chris Carroll
Okay.
moving up through the pack there. He started back in 5th, but I believe he's now up into 2nd place. So Carroll making some good moves there.
Is that Myers leading then? Yeah, it's Chris
Myers,
Carroll in second. Okay.
Myers was able to get away as these people were dueling for that 2nd place position.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're going to go side by side with Caleb.
Oh, Chris Carroll gets way off the track. He loses about 4 or 5 spots. Yep.
Let's see what Caleb is down on the grid area, and let's see what Caleb has. It's yours, Caleb.
Speaking of one of Chris Carroll's teammates there, it looked like he was off the racetrack for a little bit. Christopher, what a race for you in the driver's seat. What was that last lap like, man?
I mean, I got to the lead with a lap and a half to go, and then I just defended in certain corners that I know I needed to, and I knew Colin was a little bit higher on gear.
Get away from the PA here, so we'll walk away here. Apologies for that again here shortly, but again, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, I knew he was not really gonna pass me if I defended, and then I left the door open and he passed me, and then I got him back down the straightaway.
And again, I asked Paulie what the conversations were like under y'all's tent. You guys have a lot of teammates, a lot of drivers that are quick. I know James was up there with you as well, and one of the stages of the race. Just walk me through what's kind of been like under the tent so far this weekend.
I mean, it's a team environment and everybody's quick, so if you want to join, come on.
And you guys are quick as well with the Masters, guys. And how much did it mean to you to win it last year, and how bad do you want to go back-to-back this year?
Oh, I mean, it meant the world to me. I mean, I did it for the team, and it was great to see all the support from everybody, and I hope we can do it again. We're off to a good start.
Well, there you guys have Christopher McKeith, and you're reigning Grand National champions. Back to you boys in the booth.
All right, congratulations, Chris. Always nice to see you up front there.
Yeah, great racing going on the track. Not sure what happened to Chris Carroll. He kind of got pushed out, or something happened there. Slid into the dirt, dropped him all the way back. He was on a great move up into second. And there's Eric Fagan, of course, right there in second place. Mark Steele, of course, this is Steele Motorsports Senior Medium, so we thank Mark Steele. But right now, he's up there in contention for a win. Timmers in 4th and McIntyre in your top 5. Bellows in 6th. And Bellows, I believe, out of California. So we got some of our visiting drivers getting up there into the top 5, top 6 drivers, top 10 drivers. So let's see what happens here.
Chris Carroll back in 7th and Ryan Cassidy on 8th. Now that might be fun to watch, that battle.
Yeah, but not sure those are 2 of our top drivers here, and they're back in 7th and 8th. Ryan Cassidy usually up front, but you know, this is the first heat, so there'll be times to make adjustments and stuff and make your way through the pack.
Yeah, and they're absolutely learning. Every time they go out there, they're learning a little bit more about the track. Now, of course, the track changes. And these people, when they finish this heat race, or you know, this whole group finish the heat race, they don't race again until tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. Man, a lot of racing going on here. Sean Meyer, who had pulled away a little bit in the lead, but now he's definitely being challenged by Eric Fagan, Mark Steele, Darrell Timmers, Ian McIntyre, I believe, are in that lead draft. Nope. And it looks like Fagan will pull his normal move of trying to push Myers so they can pull away from your 3rd place driver, Mark Steele. So Mark Steele out there now with not much help. It'll be hard to catch those top 2. Steele not getting any help from anybody. A good battle going on between Darrell Timmers and Ian McIntyre. They might team up to close the gap. But right now, Eric Fagan will continue to push. Believe me, he will continue to push your leader, number 30, Sean Meyer. And Meyer right there in the lead. You see Fagan right there in 2nd. Then a little bit of a gap, and you see Mark Steele, I think. Let me see if there's been a change.
Mark Steele in third, I believe.
Yep.
Timmers, McIntyre, Velaz, Chris Carroll. Chris Carroll did turn purple last time by.
Oh, he's fast.
Chris Carroll and Ryan Cassidy.
Well, Cassidy might be helping them. They're both Coyote drivers, so if they want to catch the lead pack, that's what Cassidy has to do. Help Chris Carroll stay with them, and so they can pull up on that lead draft, and maybe they're going to do it.
And they're both smart, and they're both very seasoned.
Right.
Oh, Cassidy kind of hit the big old pothole out there.
They're trying to pull away from the number 118 of Jamie Bradford. The left runs in that 7th spot. Gallowina in 8th, Veloz in 9th, and Kasner in your top 10.
So Meyer still your leader, followed by Fagan.
Yeah, that's going to be, I predict there might be a change there come to the end. We've been seeing a little bit of different where they're making that, they're getting the win right at the finish line. Versus a little ahead of time where they get out in front and then hold it. But it seems like that straightaway is so long that you do have a chance if you get a better run coming out of that turn right leading into that long straightaway. You can make the pass by time you hit the start line or at least get in front, not the pass. You put your bumper out there. We're talking thousandths of a second to get the win.
Which makes for a very exciting race, by the way. Yep. You know, seeing it come right down to the finish.
A little bit of change from last year, what we were seeing. But right now, it's Myers in the lead, Fagan in 2nd, Steele in 3rd, Timmers in 4th, McIntyre in 5th, Veloz in 8th, and 6th, I'm sorry, Chris Carroll.
And the front 4 are kind of running away a little bit. They're pretty far ahead.
That's why Ryan Cassidy has to team up with Chris Carroll to try to push him up so they can catch that lead draft. But they got a long way to go to do it, and it seems like Cassidy just can't seem to get enough to get on the back bumper of Carroll to push him. Meanwhile, Fagan has no problem staying on the back bumper of Myers. Has no problem doing that. But could they pull away from Steele? Steele has closed the gap along with McIntyre. I'm sorry. Gotta pick that up.
Jamie Bradford back in 7th place, turned purple last time by. Your leader still Meyer, followed by Fagan, Timmers, McIntyre.
Timmers, I'm sorry, that was Timmers in 3rd. That has to close the gap, and he has done so. Timmers has closed the gap. I believe he's Mark Steele Racing, but not Mark Steele. So Timmers closed the gap. Ian McIntyre in 4th, and you see Carroll running in 5th.
Yeah, Cassidy's getting challenged here. He's instead of pushing Carroll, he must have something going wrong, because that's not like Ryan Cassidy at all.
There's your top 4 as they come across now, coming up to the finish line. And Sean Myers holding it. Fagan's right there. Fagan's not going to let him out of his sight. And the 2 behind them, Darrell Timmers and Ian McIntyre, they're not out of contention yet. I mean, Fagan's doing all that he can to try to get him and Myers to get some gap between him and Timmers, but not being too successful at it.
And it was 2 laps to go last time by the stripe, so about a lap and a half to go right now. Your leader is still Sean Myers, but Sean Myers and Eric Fagan cannot pull away from Timmers and McIntyre.
So we got a 4-way battle here for the lead. It's going to come down to the end. I'm guaranteeing you're going to see some side-by-side racing, and maybe will it end up as the last 2 heats, will it end up at the finish line where there won't be a clear winner until they cross that finish line. But meanwhile, right now, Myers, who's been in the lead since lap 1, and we'll see if he can hold it, if he can hold the lead from start to finish. I'm thinking that there's going to be some changes up there.
And Cassidy did lose the spot, so he's back one more. He's not with Carroll anymore.
There goes Fagan. Fagan looking to take the lead, and he does. And they're looking to shut out Sean Meyer. And white flag is out. And it's now Fagan on your MGM in the lead. Fagan's got the lead with Timmers in 2nd. McIntyre in 3rd. Look at Myers.
Sean Myers from 1st to 4th, just like that,
We know that can happen, but it's not over yet. If they stay tight on the top 4, that doesn't mean Myers is going to stay back there. He could still get the win. not in the greatest position to do that. And let's see if Fagan can find some speed to keep ahead of Timmers. Timmers is right there, and you know there's going to be a challenge again right at the end. Will it be at the finish line, though? That's the question. The top 4 now getting around, staying real tight. Fagan goes a little wide there, but that gives him a good run up the hill a little bit, and he's able to put a little bit of space between him and Timmers, but Timmers now looking for the lead, and Timmers is going to get it.
Yes.
Fagan almost dropped the tire into the dirt, and that could cost him. And Fagan trying to squeeze back into second. It's not going to be easy with McIntyre saying, I'm not giving up that spot. So it's a side-by-side battle, and finally McIntyre takes it. But this allows now Timmers to be out in front and not even a challenge now at the lead.
He's running away, yeah.
Once they start fighting for that position behind them, that gives Timmers a real break. So the number 06 of Darrell Timmers out in front, and I believe he could take the win, and it's not going to be a battle right down to the end. Here we go.
Fagan wants second. I don't think he's going to get it. And there's the checkered flag. And
Fagan does not get second.
No.
McIntyre gets second. Fagan gets third. Sean Meyer ends up in fourth. Chris Carroll made it back up at least into the top 5. Jamie Bradford in 6th. Ryan Cassidy dropping back to 7th. David Galluina in 8th. Ryan Kasner in 9th. Jeff Dolan in 10th. Mark Steele. Wow,
11th place. He dropped 7 spots.
Yeah, he dropped 7 spots, so he's back in 11th. Joshua Villas in 12th. John Price, one of our top champions out of the east side, running in 3rd, finishes up in 13th. And Sketchy Barnes, top 14. And Kevin May in 15th. Amber Flint in 16.
Wow. 8+ mile race, and it changed so much right at the end. So that was pretty exciting, yeah.
So now what do we go to?
We are going to have Kid Karts, I believe.
All right, Kid Karts being brought to you by Max Torque. That was the Masters being brought to you by CRG LSR Motorsports. Loose Screw Racing. I got that right? All right, so we get ready for the Kid Karts. They will be up next.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're going to need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com. They got their inventory online, and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes?
Yep.
Gloves?
Yep.
Rib protectors?
Got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
Are you looking for an advantage in your competition? Well, Car Class has done the hard work for you. We've travelled to your racetracks to give you the inside knowledge. So what does Car Class offer? We've got drone footage that captures the racing lines, visual markers for your braking points, acceleration zones, and the best overtake opportunities on your racetrack. Pedal cam to show you where to brake and when to accelerate, and 360-degree footage to make sure you don't miss any parts on the racetrack. We've covered 13 racetracks in the United States, and Australia, you're up next. So visit carclass.com to get your track information.
you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself, quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Welcome back here, new Castle Motorsports Park. As well, my name is Caleb Vieska alongside Tony the Toe Cirillo and Dave Mack as we get set to go green for your kit cards. The youngest drivers here this weekend get set to take the green flag. And that being said, let's run you down your starting order here. Looks like Heckman going to start on the inside on the 222. Alongside him is going to be Height, Dusty Strayer. I'm going to start on row number 2 alongside the 67 there. Sorry, the 37 of Ruth. And again, they crossed the timing loop a little bit early as well when they were pushing everybody onto the grid. So we're running down the starting grid order here. Grant Heckman, Spencer Height, Dusty Strayer, Tristan Ruth, back to Clyde Kleeman and Caper Nelson. You go back a couple of more drivers, Bodie Byer, James Fox, Tristan Francisco, Luca De Maria, Koa Dozet, Magnolia Worley, Liam Flamister, Will Fairmison, Chase McDonald, Gavin Metz, Jackson Jorda, Kit Knaus, Harper Smith, Brianna Shepker, Diesel Maxwell. And Diesel, a really, really funny kid. Yesterday I was walking by and he goes, "Hey, what's your name?" I'm like, "It's Caleb." He's like, "My name's Diesel." And I'm like the gas? He's like, no. And I was like, I don't even know if you knew that Diesel was a thing. But Marcus DeSantos, you go back to Millie Clements, William Heckman, Dean Yates, and Deacon Wargo, the 26 drivers that are getting set to take the green flag here today in the heat race.
They go green right away. They go
green
standing green, yeah.
So they're going to take a standing green flag, and indeed, they took the green flag just at the start. So a couple laps already underway, and a good start for the 222 of Heckman there, who's able to get a good one. Height there in the second spot as well. A couple of drivers looking to make some moves early on, but this is great. I mean, this class is all about having fun. Again, you're able to come out here to the national stage and have a good time, enjoy some time at a big national paddock like it is here this weekend, and it's going to see drivers at such a young age being able to enjoy the sport that we all love.
Yeah, I mean, these drivers at a race like this, when they do become 14, 15, and 16, this is nothing. You know, it'll be nothing to them to be at a race like this because they've experienced at such a young age. But you look at how they drive, as Dave was pointing out, it's unbelievable, and the speeds they're going. So we thank all the parents definitely for bringing 26 participants in the kid kart class. I mean, on a local level, sometimes we're lucky we get 4 or 5. You know, it's not everybody's want their kid in this type of racing, but to have 26 at this event is really a great thing. And we thank, once again, like to thank the parents that provide that, bringing these kids, future racers here to the CKNA Grand Nationals. So you see Heckman holding on, but Spencer Height is right there behind him. So Grant Heckman pulls away a little bit, coming out of turn 1, going into turn 2. And Height, he can't seem to close the gap right now.
Well, them front two, Heckman and Height, traditionally are very, very fast. They're very dominant everywhere they go. But they both have the same problem. They overdrive a little bit, and they'll a lot of times they'll do a 180 or a 360 or something. So keep your eye on them and see what they do here.
Well, right now, Grant Heckman is doing a good job of pulling away from Spencer Height. Strayer is in third. That is Dusty Strayer. In third, Tristan Ruth in fourth, and Kuiper Nelson in fifth. Clyde Clayman, son of course Scott Clayman, and running in sixth. But wait a minute, Tristan Francisco has passed him and moved into sixth place. Clayman drops to seventh, Bayer in eighth, Di Maria in ninth, and James Fox in the top 10. So Grant Heckman, will he drive away with it? We'll have to wait and see. Sometimes Spencer Height seems to have to get a little used to the track, and he starts picking up speed towards the end. We've seen him on a local level, but he, like I said, he's been winning races since the Spring National. He won the Spring National, the Summer National, and then he won the East Divisional Championship. So he is definitely one of the champions out there.
Oh, a couple of drivers collected here. The 78, it looks like, the 18 as well. The 78 is Millie Clements, and the 18,
Brianna
Shepker. There, Brianna Shepker there, the two drivers that got collected there in one of the corners. But again, Tony, one of the points that you made earlier on when this race was getting started, you were talking about, you know, all these drivers, whenever they get older and dealing with the nerves, it's going to be like nothing to them. I mean, I've been walking around, everybody kind of pacing around, walking around their go-karts, even drivers in that medium class. Just, you know, I've even heard that some drivers have you know, been sick physically before the races and had to run to the restroom, take the helmet off, and, you know, relieve themselves or and whatnot. So they've been sick to that extent. But this is just, you know, crazy. Nerves are at an all-time high here this weekend, and I mean, nothing beats the feeling whenever you know, you're wheel to wheel with 60 other drivers racing for the same goal here this weekend. And it's just an entire different feeling with the adrenaline that's pumping and whatnot. But that's the craziest thing that we do in our sport. And for drivers so young, they love it, you know, all the way through. And see Dusty Strayer making a good move there. Still holds on to the third spot. Looked like he was passing a lapped car there as well. But this time around, white flag will be in the air for your kid cards.
Yeah, and that lapper that's affecting traffic just a little bit. All the other classes, the lapper will get black flagged off the track, not kid carts, because they're just so confused. So,
so white flag is out on Heckman. Height, as I said, sometimes starts to come on at the end, and it looked like he did close the gap a little bit, but Heckman went purple, so Heckman putting down a faster lap, and it's going to be tough, Height, to catch him. But as Caleb was saying about nerves, I mean, I knew a top driver years ago, he'd have to throw up right before the race.
Yeah.
He'd go behind the building or someplace and throw up and get it over with and get out there and win the race.
Well, checkered flag, white flag was in the air the last time around. Checkered flag will wave this time around for your kid cards, and it's been a green, a checkered effort for Hackman, but he's going to get challenged all the way to the line.
Side by side, look at that.
Height looking to pull something away. Hackman's going to celebrate.
There he goes.
And he gets it done. Hackman's going to win the kid kart race. Height going to finish second. Dusty Strayer across the line third. You go back to Tristan Francisco, Tristan Ruth, Bodie Byer, Caper Nelson, Clyde Kleeman, Luca DeMaria, James Fox, your top 10 drivers here in kid kart.
Yeah, so I said Height is known to come on towards the end, and he tried, but just not enough to Grant. And Grant with his hand up in victory already, maybe a little too soon. I had to watch that, but Grant Heckman did a great job and gets the win. Spencer Height put up a great challenge right at the last lap there, finishes up in second. Dusty Strayer in third, Tristan Francisco in fourth, Tristan Ruth in fifth, and Bodie Bayer in sixth, Caper Nelson in seventh, Clyde Clayman in eighth, Luca DeMaria in ninth, James Fox in 10th, Koa Dozit in 11th, Chase McDonald.
Jamie Foxx, isn't that an actor?
Yeah.
It's an actor as well. So.
That's why I said Jamie, but it's James Fox. And Jackson Jordan in 13th, Will Fire-Rising? Thank you.
I think. I don't know.
That sounds better than what I'm saying.
I think we're all good with our own respective things, and we struggle with a couple of others as well. So it's good there's a good little balance up here. It's always a good time.
Yeah. So we thank Max Torque for sponsoring that kid kart class.
Yeah, no, for sure. Max Torque, again, a sponsor here for that kid kart class. And the Long Island Youth Karting going to sponsor the final class of the morning sessions. Not even morning anymore, we should say, because it's 2:25 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So we started at 8:45 this morning, hot, bright, and early, and cold as well. And how, the jackets are off. You saw me in my last interview, my jacket was off, kind of getting a little, sweaty outside, and nice temperature out here in Spiceland, Indiana. Just about 75 degrees and sunny. So this is great. Compared to the last weekend I had here at Newcastle, it was raining every single day. We had the effects of Hurricane Helena come through. And again, a huge shout out to everybody who couldn't make it out here this weekend. I know there's a lot of drivers that were in registration for this race and with Hurricane Milton. So our best wishes and our prayers go out to everybody from Florida, to the families from Florida, and the people watching on from Florida. We wish you all the best, and we wish you could be here watching on with us. But your 206 juniors getting set to hit the racetrack here in a couple of moments' time. Leading the charge here, Brady Shad, the driver who qualified on the pole position. He's going to start alongside J.J. O'Neill, Lucas Steck, and Christopher Wakefield on his final race in 206 Junior before he moves up to the senior categories. He's going to start on row number 2 for the first of the heat races. Cash Perkins going to start alongside Isaiah Maxey. Tyrone Kemper Jr. going to start on row number 4 alongside Alex Hasse, Christopher Utzi, and Jacob Scheible, your top 10 starters.
11 through 20 will go Gage Shipley, 11th. Starting 12th, Tegan Schneider. 13th, Alan Laney. 14th, Christopher Goulet. 15th, Leonardo Saravalli. 16th, Shane Smith. Starting 17th, Tyler Johnson. Starting 18th, Anthony Louise. Starting 19th, Seth Tozer. And starting 20th, Lucian Laser.
Yep, correct. Go back to your second page of starters here for your 206 Junior. And Tony, I'll give you the honors here to call us off.
Is that it?
We have one more page here, I believe, as well. We'll wait for that to populate. There you go.
There we go.
Jack Fiber and Sloan Sterling there, starting 21st and 22nd there, Tony.
23rd, Max Franchicelli. Ryan Ryder Brown in 24th. Meyer Lewis in the 25th position. In 26th, the 324 of Shane Reddy. In the 27th, 294 of Jackson Corbett. In the 28th position, 4:28 of Michaela McGee. In 29th, the 11 of Marcus Wolf. In 30th, the 285 of Liam Plate. In 31st, the 036 of Jake Boris. And the 32nd position, the number 24 of Clay O'Brien. In 33rd, the 373 of Ethan Leroy. In 34th, Ben Cockery. In the 35th position, Prevail Perkins. In 36, Kellen Weiss. In 37, Reese Hussey. In 38, Maddox Hopper. And in 39th, Brian Curl. In 40th, Jeremy Heath. Now, we still got a second pack, right, Dave? Second group.
Yes.
Two groups indeed. We have more drivers as well in this heat race here. Let's run you down the last couple.
Yeah.
Sydney Miller, Joseph Wilson, Tristan Searle, Elijah Fyerson, and Dylan Callahan. Your 45 drivers that are getting set to take the green flag here. The last of our heat races in the morning groups, quote-unquote morning groups here, well into the 2:45 local time here Eastern.
One more heat race.
Indeed. The last class, I should say, that is getting set to hit the racetrack here. And everybody's going to get lined up here early on into the straightaway that's going to lead us into the Monza corner, a corner that has provided a lot of passing opportunities, a lot of action as well throughout that corner that just provides a little bit of elevation change as well on this racetrack, which is the coolest part about Newcastle Motorsports Park. You have it all. You have long straightaways, tight and twisty corners, heavy braking zones as well. And this is, I think, the coolest part about this layout that we've gotten here this weekend. But it's all going to unfold here. It's all going to unglue itself here in a couple of moments as your 206 juniors hit the racetrack. And as well, I like seeing the different helmet schemes as well, some mohawks as well on the top of the helmets. That's always the coolest thing to see here at Cup Karts North America. 45 drivers total getting set to take the green flag as they get set to head into the tram lines. Dave Mack.
And these are the junior class. They're teenagers. They're a little bit more aggressive than a lot of other ones, and they don't pay the bills. So this could get exciting. We're all watching our flag man, Ryan, and we are green, 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 go, go, go.
Into turn number one we go. Already the inside line looking to move to the outside. Couple of drivers getting shoved off to the wayside. Everybody able to keep it on the racetrack on the exit of turn number one. But again, how long will they stay this way? Everybody makes it through 3 wide, almost 4 wide further back in this pack here, Tony.
Got to give these juniors credit. They're so far. Well, there goes somebody into the dirt, but back on the track. So, and look at them. They're 4x4 in some places here and really looking for a position. And as you said, this is a short race, 8 laps, so people are anxious to move right away. They're not going to wait. They got to get out there, especially if they're running towards the back of the pack. You got somebody out.
That's
and they're coming right back on.
Yeah, he got back on.
And again, Tony, you make a really good point here. A lot of drivers, if they didn't have a good qualifying, they're going to be desperate to work their way up the field to have a better end to their first heat race. The 428 off the racetrack there, and more drivers off. One of the MGM machines, the 81 of Tozer, is off the racetrack in the grass. And a couple look like they had some mechanical issues, but into the Monza corner we go, side by side. Tyrone Kemper Jr. goes off the racetrack there on the exit. He's able to rejoin, but this shows you how elbows out this junior class has been.
Yeah, they've been running tight here. We said they did a great job through the first couple turns, but then the action started. And as Caleb and I were saying, the anxiety to get up there because you only have 8 laps to do it, especially if you had a little problems in the qualifying. You got to know, you want to start gaining positions. You want to get those points so that when it comes to Sunday's feature, you're in a better position, even though you might have had problems during your qualifying.
A couple of drivers here further back, going side by side. One of the Precision Performance karting machines, the 863 there in that group of Cash Perkins. A couple of others looking to make some moves. Kemper Jr. is going to get past. Looking to hold on to it. He's not going to put up much of a fight, but it shows you how one pass can really unfold your entire group because Christopher Wakefield and a couple of other drivers are getting away, and this is exactly what they want to see further back in the field because this entire mid-pack has come unglued here. The 307 way off the racetrack there.
Yeah, that's like you said, that's what the back markers want to see because this way they gain a lot of positions right away when people start to push and get out of the race line. But look at Christopher Yahtzee coming up 12 positions, getting into that 5th spot, and that might have changed by now. But J.J. O'Neill in 4th, And Thek in third, up 2 positions. Christopher Wakefield, one of the top drivers that you got to keep an eye on. Brady Shad, I believe, still holding the lead, but he's being hard pressed by the number 811 of Christopher Wakefield. Here they come.
Yeah, and again, Wakefield has a lot of experience, especially being in this position, in second and pushing along the leader. And he's going to know that if he wants to get away from the likes of Christopher Utsi, Cash Perkins, and Lucas Thek, who are really, really quick throughout this field, he's going to have to continue to push Brady Shad. As much as he'd want to be in the lead of this race, he's going to have to push because the drivers in third, fourth, and fifth, he's going to need to fight from all these drivers because they're lapping a lot quicker. A 123.499 for Cash Perkins the last time around in his Coyote machine, and it looks like that front pack has already come right back together, and this battle is all back in the mid-pack, and it continues to get gnarly there. And this is the battle for the lead. Christopher Wakefield goes to the point.
Yeah, Wakefield, one of our definitely favorites here that could do it. Right, Wakefield now takes the lead again, but as you said, Cash Perkins on a fast time, moving up to 5 positions already. So keep an eye on the 863 of Cash Perkins. And it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got a 5-cart run for the front here.
Some quick math there.
Yeah.
And that Brady Shad, just because he's moved back, don't count him out by any stretch.
Yeah, when he's only in second as well here, David.
Yeah.
So you can really, this race is long from over. We're only, we're on lap number 3 of 8. Still a lot more laps set to go. 5 laps left in this race when they cross the stripe this time around. And Wakefield doing a good job of leading here. You see that second group starting to slow down just a little bit and start to work together here. Lucas Thek is the tail end of this front pack. For the back gauge, Shipley in the TV cart, it seems like, is leading that second group. He's up 15 spots from where he started. How about that?
Yeah.
For the lime green TV cart, working his way up the field, and already a move there by Cash Perkins to get up to third and join his teammate up there and try and get ahead of the Sodi Racing USA machine and Christopher Wakefield.
Yeah, if Gage Shipley had made a lot of passes getting up to that 6th spot, but if he doesn't get help from the people behind him, it's going to be hard to catch the top 5.
Now you have Lucas Thek making a move there on Christopher Utsi as well. Utsi in the Burrell Hart machine for the Steel Motorsports camp here this weekend. Just dropped another spot. He's on the edge of the top 5 now. So good move there by Thek to work his way up to 4th. And Christopher Wakefield's going to be swarmed here by a pack of hungry Coyotes looking to take the lead of this heat race away from him. You see they're on the inside. Looked like Shad wanted to make a move in a Monza, but that's a tricky place to go for a move. The 287 Burrell Hart out of this race early.
Yeah, tough break here, but there's still another heat to go. I mean, they still got time before the feature, so some of these drivers can come back, but it's going to be really tough with the amount of karts that are out here. So here we go again. Wakefield being challenged this time down the main straightaway. And I believe Wakefield gives it up, and he might give up 2 positions and drops back to 3rd.
Shad went through, Perkins went through there as well, and indeed here, Dave, that lead, it continues to change in this race. We saw it in medium, we saw it in Masters, and in this race it's going to be the exact same thing, but it seems like more drivers have been able to hold on to the top 5, and moves like that is exactly what the likes of Gage Shipley, who's up 15 spots, J.J. O'Neill, who dropped back 3. That's exactly what he's going to want to see. He's going to want to see more of this as well, more side-by-side action from drivers just at the edge of this. Lucas Thek and Utsi going side-by-side there.
I believe Utsi took that 4th place position away from him.
Yeah, we'll try to at least.
Oh, yeah,
Thek was able to hold on.
Yep.
But that's exactly what everybody else down this field wants to see. Wants to see them fight. Wants to, they want to try and get themselves up within a shot of a better starting spot for heat race number 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, and that allowed the top 3 now to pull away as Utsi and Thek started getting into it. But Thek held on to that 3rd, 4th place position, but that cost them. They got a gap now to try to catch the top 3 of Shad, Perkins, and Wakefield. And right now, Shad holding the lead, but he's got Perkins and Wakefield. Right now, it's a 3-way battle, but it soon could develop back into a 5th-way battle for the lead as the gap is starting to close again. And look at way back there, J.R. Kemper up 3 positions into 10th, turning purple. So we got some fast drivers out there throughout the pack, but you got to be in the draft, and right now the top 5, you got to be with them, and they are trying to pull away from your 6th place driver, which is Gage Shipley.
Yeah, everybody working their way through here now, this straightaway into the 90-degree left-hander, and everybody still single file. And again, this is the point where it really starts to slow down throughout this race. A lot of drivers stop making those desperation moves to try and make up more spots, especially from the leaders. They're going to be kind of cool, collected, and timing every single move. For a driver like Tyrone Kemper Jr. here in that Ocala Grand Prix suit of the Charles Leclerc machine, he's going to have to work his way up the field after starting way up in the order and falling down it as well. He's up 4 spots now from where he started. So a good drive so far for Tyrone to get himself inside of the top 10. He's in 9th and I believe made up a couple of more. So that could be an even better position for Kemper. But this is all going to come unglued here in about a lap's time. White flag, sorry, 2 sticks will be up in the air. And that's going to be crunch time officially here.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Top 5 still holding on here.
There's big contact further back in the field here on the scoreboard. Hairpin. 2 MGMs, a Coyote there, and more contact there. That's a bent axle from a driver who just got collected there. So unfortunate for that battle. That was way down the order, but your top 5 going to start to fight here. And you have to think, how much are these 2 Coyotes out in the front going to fight? How much are they going to want to risk losing the win in this heat race to Christopher Wakefield?
Yeah, it's going to be tight. We'll see what happens. So you got the 2 Coyotes out in front. Then you got Wakefield in 3rd, Thek in 4th, Yahtzee in 5th.
This time around, no moves have been made inside of the top 5, and you said it, Tony. Christopher Yahtzee in 5th, fastest lap of the race, a 122.089 for Yahtzee in that Steel Motorsports machine, and he's kind of in no man's land here. No teammates for him in this front pack, and the same goes for Wakefield. And there's 3 Coyotes as well in this mix. So again, 2 drivers, kind of the lone wolves in the midst of a pack of a couple of Coyotes here as well. So we'll see how it kind of turns out here. But this time around, white flag will fly in the air. It's still Brady Shad, who's had a good race, really good race, has been patient, has been really mature with his driving as well, and when he's going to make a move. And there goes Yahtzee on the inside of Thek. You see Thek hand in the air, wasn't too happy with that move. They lost a lot of time, but when all this racing unfolds here for the front pack, you'll see them kind of get closer together. White flag in the air. We'll see how much Perkins is going to fight for this win.
I mean, I got to give Yahtzee credit, man. He came up 13 positions. So he's doing what he needs to do to get himself in position in the feature race to be up there and have a shot at becoming a Grand National champion.
There's Perkins. He was able to retake the lead of the race from his teammate and Brady Shad. Wakefield now trying to get creative, going high, low, looking for a move here. And I said Thek was going to get closer, and for Yahtzee as well was going to get closer. Those 2 drivers are back in the mix as Shad moves Perkins up the racetrack, and they file back in a line. Thek goes back in a line in 4th there as well. Yahtzee still sitting patient, kind of riding passenger at the moment, looking on the outside to set up some sort of over-under here and try and make up some moves in this race that's just kind of been super argy-bargy from start to finish. They're going to work their way through the Monza. Yahtzee stuck on the outside. He's going to lose a lot of time there through the grass.
A lot there, putting his tires in the dirt. Perkins trying to hold on to that lead, looking back. So Perkins doing a good job here, but I think it's going to come down to another drag race when it comes to the final straightaway there. But already we got going wide there was Wakefield, right?
Yeah, Wakefield looking to rip the high side there. Wasn't able to get it done. Side by side, 2x2, 4x4 across the line. Perkins has a good run. Wakefield has an even better run. Christopher Wakefield wins heat race number 1 in 2:06. Junior Cash Perkins across the line. Second, Lucas Thek to Brady Shad, and Yahtzee 12 spots gained in this race to round up your top 5.
Right. Gage Shipley gets 6, Jacob Schabel 7, Shane Smith in 8th, Junior Kemper in 9th, and your top 10, Isaiah Maxey. So top 10 drivers, but what a drive by Wakefield. One of the favorites coming into this race with his record in CKNA. He is definitely somebody you would pick to be a Grand National champion, and he's already setting the road for that by winning this heat. Now, this is the A and D. We still have the D and...
AD. We still have BC.
DC.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the next one. But Christopher Wakefield got the job done. That's what he needed to do to try to stay in a top starting position when we get to the feature races on Sunday.
And that's really why we're here to begin with here, fellas. It's all about the race on Sunday, the last race, the last time that you hit the racetrack on the weekend, and that's the race that everybody is going to want to come out here and try and take a win. And here again, some karts still out there on the racetrack. Pickup getting set to go underway. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, the second half of your 206 juniors get set to go into heat racing action.
Brandon, why are there all these
All right,
charges
stop.
for just over $200?
I'm tired of all this branding business, okay? Branding this, branding that. Why are there all these expenses on AKR over $200? We know, okay? Take a walk with me. At Shop AKR, they have everything you need to start racing at a very cheap and affordable price. They have MXC rims, they got chains, electrical stands, tilt seats, they got MXCs. And if you didn't know, on top of that, any purchase in the continental US over $200, that's free shipping.
Hey, aren't you supposed to be in the AKR Anonymous meeting over there?
Dude, I'm doing a commercial.
Dude, we have no time. It's about to start.
Stop. We all love Shop AKR. Me? More than others. What do I get at Shop AKR?
MXC rims.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Parallel USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parallel Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParallelinUSA.com.
Welcome back here to Castle Motorsports Park for the second half of your 206 juniors as they get set to hit the track for the last of our warm-up sessions, I should say here, fellas. Holden Harder, Sebastian Day starting on row number 1, Kate Yeager, Sam Tutwiler on row 2, Beckham Lewis and Isaac Malquit on row number 3. You go back to Adriano Yanuzzi starting alongside Derek Wargo, Hudson Jack Erlin starting alongside Nate Dogg, Nathan Dupuis.
And then you have Will Wilkie starting in the 11th position, Braden Zerves in 12th. In 13, Trevor Clinton. In 14, Cooper Perez. In 15, Thomas Anthony. In 16, Jordan Klein. In 17, Colt Schulpower. And in 18, Gavin Crutcher. In 19, Braden Delmont. And in 20th, Evan Benoit.
And starting 21st?
French there as well.
Sorry,
Evan
I don't know.
Benoit.
Yeah, you're right. Benoit. Good.
Starting 21st, Nicholas Capilongo. Starting 22nd, Declan Black. Starting 23rd, Eric Hubert. Starting 24th, Davis Henry. Starting 25th, Paulie D. Hart. Starting 26th, Lucas Randolph. Starting 27th, Eva Blem. Starting 28th, Gabriel Payne. Starting 29th, Carson Benjamin. 30th, Ryan Zucchina. 31st, Adam Saldana. Then we have Caleb Blanturn, Summer Joy Haley, Emma Plate, Jackson Leach, Leland Anderson, George Ma, who else do we have? Matthew Holland, Sean Evans, Will Kreitz, Mia Johnson, Colton Geyer, Levi Getz, Connor Corsi, Lewis Dilly, and Connor Baker.
Yeah, what a group. And, you know, you see somebody like Paulie Hart, who wins a lot of races in our area. Look where he's starting. Now, there could have been problems or whatever, but it tells you the level of competition that is at this track, that if you do have something wrong when you go out there to qualify, you're really going to pay the price. You're not going to just lose 1 or 2 positions.
No start. Yellow, yellow, yellow.
No start on that one.
Yellow flag in the air there. Isaac Malcolm is one of the drivers that we've talked about so far this year. He was quick right out of the box whenever he started off his national campaign in 206. earlier on this year. He was able to win at Charlotte at the Motor Speedway for the Spring Nationals. You get into the Summer Nationals, Malkout was still very, very quick, and I can't remember exactly if he was able to win that race, but again, he's always going to be a contender when you get down to it. And considering that he's starting on row number 3 in this, it's not exactly where you're expecting to see Malkout, and that says a lot to how he's driven all year long and how he's driven in his time here with us at Cup Karts North America. So look out for a lot of these drivers to kind of figure something out throughout the races as well. Nathan Dupuis has been up there throughout many of the national races that he's gone to as well this year, but this class is definitely gonna be turned upside down here. We saw how chaotic it was in the first couple of laps of the first group of this 206 junior heat racing. We'll see how it ends up here in the second one.
Yeah, Malkout has also been running the 2-cycle circuit.
Indeed.
And doing pretty well with that. So, he knows what speed's about. So it does pay back here when you get here, because it kind of like puts the driver where he's seeing things in a slower position if he's raced a faster kart prior to this. So it can help sometimes develop or get you a better perspective on when you come back to 206.
Indeed.
I see a couple of karts to pay attention to back there. Starting 9th, number 214, Hudson Jack Erlin, and number 669, starting 10th, and Nathan Dupuis. They both have maple leaves on their cart, so they're very, very heavy hitters, yeah.
Well, here you have it, Dave Mack. The last time in the morning warm-up sessions on Friday.
Green, 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 go, go, go!
And already everybody off to a pretty good start, side by side all throughout this field. And again, everybody just looking for a place on the racetrack to be able to work their way through. Everybody able to get through turn number 1. This is usually where it starts to get chaotic. Start these tight and twisty corners in between turn number 2, 3, and 4. Everybody able to make it out. A couple of movers already here early on. One of the Coyotes there look like up to 3rd. Cade Yeager, that driver that was able to make a move there for the 3rd spot. A couple of the invaders, Cooper Perez from California, looking to work his way through all the way down the order to Mia Johnson in the CRG Norton machine, and everybody further up ahead. Still battling for position there, and you see a lot of drivers start to make moves inside of the top 10 as they all cycle their way through.
And good battle up front there between, I believe it's Holden Harder and Sebastian Day. And Cade Yeager's got to be up there somewhere. 3rd, I think.
Yeah, Cade Yeager was able to get up to 3rd there in turn 5. He was able to get a move done. But this is kind of surprising to see this much fighting early on. It's bringing more and more drivers into the mix, and moves like that is exactly what's going to cause it.
Yep.
Malkout, and it looked like Dupuis in this group as well, and one more driver in that Steel Motorsports machine, and we'll see how they all stack up after lap number 1 across the line. That looked to be Sam Tutwiler indeed in the number 9 Steel Motorsports machine. Dupuis looking to make a move there on Yanuzzi. Dupuis is able to get through and up to 6th. Chaotic start here to begin with. Single file all the way through as they rocket into turn number 5. More moves. Cade Yeager there on the inside of Day. Day's not going to make it easy for him at all. Yeager stays in 3rd. Day holds on to the 2nd spot, and everybody else as well. You see starts to get kind of desperate to try and make some moves. Malkout goes through on Derek Warga, who as well had a really good start to his race. Isaac Malkout makes up another spot here.
Malkout up into, I believe, into 4th now?
Indeed, that's what it seemed. Sorry, further back than that. He's probably in 6th now. Dupuis, the driver, in 5th. And this skirm up at the front, still battling there. Like we said earlier, Sam Tutwiler in the number 9 Steel Motorsports machine. What looks to be a lime, a very fluorescent yellow suit there with that fluorescent rear bumper as well. Cade Yeager, the 64 in the gray and fluorescent Coyote machine, out at the lead, still holding harder. Some more moves being made here on the inside there. Yeager looking to get past here.
Tutwiler looks like he's up to 2nd.
Indeed.
And I want to go that way, he says. Yep, Sammy's in 2nd.
Sebastian Day holding on to the lead. Tutwiler in 2nd. Dupuis in 3rd. Malkout in 4th. Cade Yeager in 5th. Holden Harder dropping all the way back to 6th. He was your top contender there and getting pushed back to 6th. So let's see if he can get back up there into the top 3.
And again, if you can hear here in your ears, you can hear all the screeching from the Vega tires that just goes on as this race continues to progress. And speaking to a lot of drivers here trackside, they've kind of We predicted the couple of drivers get collected. Nathan Dupuis, Isaac Malquit, two of the biggest contenders here this weekend are off the racetrack, and incidents like this can make or break your Grand National Championship charge. If you don't have a good second heat race, they're going to start last pretty much in heat race number 2, and they have to go from the back to the front throughout that heat race. That's just unfortunate there for Nathan Dupuis and Isaac Malquit getting collected here, and incidents like that can destroy your entire charge for a Grand National Championship.
You know, and that allows Sebastian Day and Tutwiler to really pull away, I believe, at this point. We'll pick that up. And a lot of changes now up front.
Whoa, one driver way off the racetrack there, drifting through the grass, the 968. That's going to fall way down the order here.
Gavin Crutcher.
Gavin Crutcher, goodness gracious. Couldn't keep it pinned, and is going to have to restart that engine, but man, this shows you how gnarly the conditions are out here and how gnarly the racing has been as well from start to finish. We were talking about the screeching of the tires here, fellas, before we got interrupted by all the moves that were kind of going on and everything that was unfolding throughout this race, but you see the high levels of grip throughout this race. And speaking of Brandon Johnson, cracked up at the scale tower for the second half of the medium groups, he said the grease over point kind of came a little bit early for him. He felt like they were just sliding everywhere, and the track had already greased over, and this is super early in the weekend. We had only been through the first set of heat races there, and now you can only imagine how the conditions are for the rest of the junior drivers that are out there on the racetrack. So keeping all the mechanics on their toes, everybody kind of, ready with wrenches in hand, ready to change a setup, a front end, or whatever it is to kind of try and stay fast at this event. That, you have to be on the setup, you have to be on the driving, you have to be on everything here to be quick and want to win at the end of the weekend, which is the big picture.
And this is where the experience comes in. I mean, because conditions can change, and the people that don't have the experience feel like, oh, everybody slowed down. But the people with the experience know, yeah, the track has changed, and yeah, if you didn't make a change, you are going to slow down. And like I said, your fast people will always remain your fast people, it seems like, because they know what to do as the track changes. Now, tonight, I mean, when these drivers, not these same drivers, but the rest of the drivers who are driving tonight, are going to have definitely different setup than what these people are running right now.
I mean, again, the temperature's going to be a lot cooler later on tonight. They're going to be under the lights. The sun's not going to be shining. It's not going to be as warm as it is right now. It's only going to continue to cool off and more and more, and it could even go back to a completely green racetrack, or it could evolve in ways that, we aren't expecting. This is the first time, I think, that there's going to be night racing at Castle Motorsports Park, because there isn't any permanent lights around this place. So this is going to be a big wrench at everybody who's raced here in the past, because this is going to be the first time for a lot of them racing under the lights.
Yeah, it'll be the first time for a lot of 206. I think they've run night races here, and that's why they knew where to position the lights. That's what I was told. So evidently they did have some races that got after sundown. I don't know how many, but for a lot of these people racing here today with CKNA, it probably could be the first time that they are going to race under the lights. And as I was telling them down on the grid, think about, you should have at least a clear face shield or an amber one.
That's actually one of the biggest talking points we've had as well internally. A lot of drivers have found out they have vision problems as well when they put on the clear visor and race at night. Everything comes at you a lot faster with the lights kind of beaming down on the racetrack. Everything moves faster, the wind moves faster, you feel like moves move faster, you're going a lot quicker as well throughout the racing as it continues. A lot of drivers will opt, I will kind of spoil the news here for you guys a little bit. A lot of drivers will opt to use those tinted visors later on tonight, and we'll see what kind of works out for everybody. We'll see some fast guys go out there in tinted visors, and we'll see if that's either to their benefit or to their downfall, you can say.
Yeah, I think if your vision isn't perfect, you're probably better off with the clear or the or the amber one. But especially for the senior drivers, I think. But the younger, they could go out there with the tinted shield and still do just as good as they did if it was broad daylight out there. So yeah, but for some drivers, the lights are going to change things a lot for their vision and how things come onto them. So right now we got Sam Tutwiler still holding the lead. Adriano Iannuzzi, it's up 12 positions into that second place. Brandon Zaviris up 20.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Wow, 20 positions.
Yeah, a lot of drivers have done a good job to work their way up in the order. Zerv's actually up to second now, and Sam Tutwiler has held on to this lead for quite some time, but with 2 laps to go in this race, it's all going to unfold here And this is, again, the end of the morning warm-up, the end of the morning sessions, I should say, on the first day of Grand National racing here. So you have Zervs in second there, Katie Yeager in third, 4 Coyotes, it seems like, second on back. To Yeager, and then you have another one back at Adriana Yanuzzi, and my mistake there, it looks like he's in a clear here as well. Again, hard to tell from where we're at. It looks like a Coyote indeed, so they continue to work their way through. Yeager looking to make a move as Zervs kind of had no idea that they were going to work their way through. Yeager gets through, Yanuzzi goes through, and the driver there in fifth for Jordan Klein.
Yeah, Jordan Klein doing an excellent job here. She's really stayed with the pace, and that's a Coyote driver up into that fifth spot. The number 716 of Jordan Klein doing a real good job of trying to stay with the lead pack here and having a shot at getting up there to a better position, but at least staying with the lead pack, the top 5.
Staying within the top 5 here, going into I-70. This time around, they're going to get the white flag in the air. Tutwiler's done a good job, but not good enough because there goes Katie Yeager. Let's see if Tutwiler can set something up to try and go back to the lead of this race. And again, we've seen a lot of over-under moves in the I-70 hairpin, but with the white flag in the air, they're going to drag race all the way down. Tutwiler retook the lead of the race here. Yeager, one move for the lead, sends him all the way back to fourth. Zervs was able to get through, and as well as Yanuzzi, who's up to second now.
I'm surprised Jordan Klein didn't take advantage of all of that was going on. She stayed in fifth when she could have, I think, moved up at least a position or two as they were dicing for positions. So now the top 4 looking like they want to put something to that, but Jordan does close in.
Sammy back to fourth now.
Yeah, Tutwiler fell back to fourth as Zervs looked to go through. Yeager was able to go through there as well. So now Jordan, she's going to be the next driver to try and go here on Tutwiler, who was at the lead of this race. Fell all the way back to fourth. We'll see how it unfolds as Yeager again into the green corner we go. Everybody looking to make moves here in this final lap, the last couple of corners in this Friday morning session. To the bottom of the racetrack, Yanuzzi, Yeager looking to make it 3 wide. Zerv stuck on the outside. Tutwiler's up to third.
Wow, what a race we had. It's been every race here, and it's going to come down to that start-finish line, it looks like, again, because they go into single file. And let's see what happens when they hit that main straightaway.
Tutwiler still holding on. Yanuzzi still holding on. Right behind him, Yeager. It's going to be a drag race all the way to the finish line here. Checkered flag in the air. No black flag, so no contest. Not going to be in contention. 3 wide across the line.
Woo!
Braden Zervs steals one there at the end. And my mistake, Katie Yeager
credit, yeah.
steals one there at the end. Zervs across the line in second. Sam Tutwiler, your top 3. Jordan Klein up to fourth. Yanuzzi, your top 5.
Holden Harder got 6. Great run by him there, getting back in it. I mean, it wasn't a top 5 at the end. It was like a top 8. They closed the gap. Harder got up into 6. Sebastian Day in 7. Braden Dumont in 8th. Hudson Jack Yurlin in 9th. And Beckham Lewis in the top 10. Man, what a race that was.
Yeah.
And everybody trying to set up for positions for the next heat.
Indeed, you go back to Derek Wargo in 11th, Cooper Perez in 12th, Cappy Longo with 13th, Anthony back to Declan Black, your top 15 finishers in 206 Junior. 2 of the biggest stories in that one, Nathan Dupuis, Isaac Malquit, not able to close this race out, and that's just unfortunate with the speed that those 2 drivers have had all weekend long. We're back on the free coverage on the back half of the day, starting at 3:45 with your afternoon sessions. So, again, this is the Friday evening schedule here coming your way next at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. We're going to kick off with warm-ups. Back to happy hour at 4:40. Qualifying kicking off at 5:50, and that's just about when the sun is going to start to set behind the Spiceland, Indiana cornfields here, and you go into the heat racing action again back to our KC Premium member stream starting at about 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Warm-up, happy hour, and qualifying will be free for everybody to view, but again, for $9.99 a month, you're not going to want to miss any of the racing action because we're live from Newcastle Motorsports Park for the 8th edition of the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals. And again, we'll see you on the other side here in about 30 minutes time.
With all new razors.
Yes, sir.